In a situation like this, information and outreach are critical, but just as important is stamping out misinformation and scapegoating. My colleagues will share with you what the Assembly is doing to share information and resources. Dr. Chavez will give you the latest updates in English and in Spanish. Thank you all very much for coming, and I'd like to introduce now Assemblymember Dave Jones.
Our primary goal here is to make sure that all Californians, regardless of their primary language, have access to information to protect themselves and their families. The phone number for this hotline is 1-888-865-0564. This H1N1 flu hotline phone number is available Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on weekends from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And this is in addition to the toll-free line that's available through the Federal Centers for Disease Control, also in English and Spanish. And the CDC toll-free line is 1-800-CDC-INFO or 1-800-232-4636. Now, we're working very closely with our public health partners to make sure that accurate, up-to-date information is available as things are changing on the ground, and in particular in languages other than English. There'll be an Assembly Spotlight page, a clearinghouse of all information with links to CDC websites in English and Spanish, and the California Department of Public Health bilingual information hotline numbers and a list of public health officers. So we can encourage people to go up to our website, www.asm.ca.gov/speaker. In addition, I've just sent out a memo to all 80 members of the California State Assembly for distribution to their districts and to stakeholders in their districts with important information about prevention and treatment resources. And now it's my pleasure to introduce my colleague Kevin De Leon, who's going to share with us a little bit of information about the importance of public outreach to all of our communities, and then he'll introduce Dr. Chavez.
Thank you very much, Dave. One thing I want to underscore and highlight, too, is the unfortunate comments that I think have been made on certain news outlets with regards to this strain of virus and how some communities have been targeted as the originators, if you will, of this flu, the swine flu. And information and correct information is the best thing to get out there. We've had some incidences where folks have been targeted because they are Latino. We have some incidents where there has been some bashing, without a doubt, of Mexico and those individuals who happen to be Latino. And we should take pause and be circumspect. So we're dealing with a public health issue, first and foremost. This is not an opportunity to target it and select certain groups of individuals because of their ethnicity as being the cause or the origin of the swine flu. Dr. Chavez will give you the latest in both English and Spanish on the H1N1 virus here in California. Dr.
Important to know that cases now occur in 22 California counties. It is also important to note that most of the cases in California do not have a connection to Mexico, either through contact or through travel. And our recommendation on hygiene and our recommendations on staying home when you're sick apply to all residents of California, regardless of background, race, and ethnicity. The World Health Organization, as you know, raised the pandemic level to 5 last week. We hear that there might be a possibility that that pandemic might be raised to level 6 this week. And I wanted to provide some context of what that might mean if you hear about it. A pandemic level basically tells you where the virus has been seen around the world. It is not a measure of severity, which is really what dictates our actions. So when this becomes level 6, if it ever does, just basically means that this is widespread throughout the world. And it has no impact really on how we handle the epidemic. In California, we have been prepared. We have been doing this from the onset. We've had an aggressive response. And independently of the pandemic level, we are prepared and we're doing the right thing. Now, I just wanted to close by saying that California is very, very prepared for this. We have received significant resources in the past to address this problem. We have a plan in place that has been tested on multiple occasions. And we have worked with our local partners consistently in planning precisely for this event. And what I'd like to say in this situation is that we have planned for the worst case scenario, and we're hoping for the best case scenario. As you know, we are currently seeing very mild disease in California. Out of all of the cases that I presented to you, only 8 have been ever hospitalized, which I think is very, very good news. And we have had no fatalities. So we continue to see mild disease, most of these cases resolved without medical intervention, which speaks very well for the future. Now, we need to remember that we are very early on in this epidemic and that the virus is changing and might change more. And so we need to not be led to believe that this is resolved. We need to continue to be vigilant. We need to continue to monitor. But as of today, the situation looks like it's under control and the cases continue to be